Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're putting on our detective hats to crack a code on a secret language that surrounds us every single day. I'm talking about the ancient art of rhetoric. It's literally everywhere, in the ads you watch, the books you read, and yep, even those casual conversations you have in your own living room. By the end of this, you won't just see the world differently, you'll have the practical tools to navigate it, and maybe even manipulate it a little bit yourself. In the best way possible, of course.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a super relatable scenario. Picture this. You and your roommates are arguing over whether to get dinner at Emiliano's Pizza Pavilion. It's a simple, everyday question, right? But underneath that basic question is an absolute battlefield of persuasion. You might be completely tired of pizza, but your roommates, they are absolutely determined to change your mind.
Just look at the tactics they're using here. They try to manipulate you using everything from the fear of getting sick, claiming that the last time you ate somewhere else you caught a bug, to flat out accusing you of not supporting immigrant business owners. They tell you everyone is going there. They're pulling out all the stops just to get their pizza. Well, to truly deconstruct how they're trying to persuade you, we have to look all the way back to the ancient Greeks.
Section 1. Defining the code. The core rhetorical appeals. Let's break this down.
The Greeks understood that communication is basically all about motivating an audience. The first building block of that is ethos. Ethos is all about credibility. It's exactly why when your roommates claim they are the local pizza experts because they have literally tried every single place in town, you listen to them. They're establishing an authoritative voice to elicit your trust. I mean, if they didn't know pizza, their argument would totally fall flat.
Next up is pathos. Now, pathos targets your emotions, which is exactly what your friends are doing when they try to make you feel guilty for staying home all alone. They know you don't want to be lonely while they're out having a great time. So they're appealing to a shared human feeling, that deep desire to belong and the fear of missing out.
Then we have logos. Logos is the logic of the argument. It's represented by their highly sensible point that Emiliano's is a great value for the money and, crucially, will provide leftovers for tomorrow. It's a fact-based reason that moves toward an acceptable conclusion. It just makes practical, economic sense.
And finally, there's kairos. Kairos is all about the timing of the pitch. An appeal can completely succeed or fail based entirely on when it's made. Your roommate's pizza argument is highly effective right now because it's dinner time on a Thursday evening and you are already hungry. If they tried to pitch this to you right after a huge breakfast on a Tuesday morning, yeah, kairos would be working completely against them.
So mapping this out brilliantly illustrates how these abstract academic concepts apply directly to our everyday low-stakes conflicts. When you look at them side by side, you can really see how ethos, pathos, logos, and kairos aren't just dry terms in a textbook. They are the actual mechanics of how we interact and convince each other of what to do next.
Moving on to Section 2, Spotting Logical Fallacies, the Flaws in the Code.
As you probably noticed with the roommate example, not all persuasion is fair play. Sometimes it crosses over into the sneakier side of things. These are essentially flaws in reasoning that steer an argument away from logic and straight into manipulation. You've got the bandwagon effect, claiming everyone is doing it, so you should too. You've got hyperbole, like saying a restaurant has a million things on the menu. Or the ad hominem attack, where they attack you personally, like calling you hostile to immigrants, rather than actually addressing your argument about not wanting pizza.
Now, what's really interesting here is how this quote highlights the complete absurdity of the causal fallacy. It proves that just because two events happen near each other, it definitely does not mean one caused the other. Your roommates claim that because you didn't go with them last time, you got sick. It's a totally ridiculous leap of logic. But in the heat of a debate, these fallacies can actually sound remarkably convincing if you aren't trained to spot them.
All right, Section 3. Decoding Media and Ads. Rhetoric in the Wild.
Armed with these definitions, we can step out into the wild and decode how massive brands use these exact same tricks. Take this classic Super Bowl ad, for example. In it, M&Ms are pitched as the perfect apology for accidentally annoying someone, like bumping their seat on an airplane and spilling their drink. It's a hilarious visual for sure, but rhetorically, it's doing some serious heavy lifting.
The ad expertly balances a comedic emotional appeal, there's our pathos, with a subtle bandwagon fallacy. The pathos appeals to our innate, deeply human desire to be liked and forgiven when we make a mistake. But the bandwagon fallacy implies that since businessmen, travelers, and basically everyone else are handing out colorful candy to apologize, well, this is just the normal thing everyone does, and so should you.
Shifting gears a bit to public policy, we have Smokey Bear. This is a highly recognizable symbol created by the U.S. Forest Service all the way back in 1944. And honestly, this is a masterclass in long-lasting rhetorical design. Just look at how the artist deliberately built Smokey's ethos. By putting a wild, objectively dangerous animal into a pair of dad jeans, giving him a domesticated posture, a ranger hat, and having a playful, fuzzy little cub nearby, the artist brilliantly removes any sense of threat. This establishes unshakable credibility and trust. He becomes a believable, fatherly figure for safety rather than a dangerous predator. That right there is the power of visual ethos.
Section 4. Analyzing complex arguments, ethnography, and critique.
Now, as we graduate from pizza and television ads, we can use rhetoric to neutrally analyze how acclaimed writers structure their social and cultural arguments. When examining an award-winning book like Matthew Desmond's Evicted, we can see exactly how the author strategically balances his rhetorical appeals. Desmond uses heartbreaking personal anecdotes, like the tragic story of a mother named Kamala losing her child to an apartment fire, to generate deep empathy. That is a massive appeal to pathos. But he also knows policymakers might ignore purely emotional pleas, so he balances it heavily with hard facts and statistical evidence. That's his logos. For example, he drops the staggering statistic that one subject pays 88% of her welfare check just on rent. He wields logos as an undeniable anchor for his argument. You can debate emotions all day long, but you cannot easily debate that 88% is an unsustainable number. It proves that learning rhetoric allows you to dissect exactly why a piece of writing feels so powerful and convincing.
Which brings us to Section 5. Rhetoric in the workplace, the high utility payoff.
Because here's the crucial point. Understanding this secret language isn't just for analyzing other people's arguments. It is the absolute ultimate tool for selling your own skills. Look at the weak approach to a cover letter. It starts with a generic, self-centered introduction. My name is Brett. I want this job. It's entirely focused on the writer, but by shifting your approach and focusing entirely on the employer's needs and how your specific skills fill their gaps, you are immediately deploying powerful rhetorical persuasion. You're using ethos to show you understand their business and logos to prove you are the logical solution to their problems. So as you navigate the world today, I want you to consider how you persuade your friends, how you decode the ads on your screen, and how you sell yourself. Are you relying too much on emotion? Are your arguments logically sound? Because the secret language of rhetoric is everywhere, just waiting to be used. So I'll leave you with this one thought. What is your rhetoric saying about you, and are you fully in control of the message you're sending?